Welcome on into another R.I.P. Reincarnation Insurance Program here on MindMine. In the previous episodes, we covered Philomel, Claire, Morse, and then finally Katarina. We also covered all three combat zones, but now we have Luna, who can be unlocked just by doing a rank 4 hazard level, and once completing that, you'll have the Bowmaster herself. Her weapon is the Cambo, armor is light. Luna's arrows never miss. She always picks the perfect moment to deliver a one-way ticket to the cycle of reincarnation for her enemies' souls. So we're going to jump in as Luna now and see what she's all about. Now, currently, I have thrown as much gear as I can on her as best as I could, the best gear that I had. So I do have a Mythic Grenade, which is the Rapid Cataclysm. I also have the Gunfire Dragon Quantum Band, the Legendary Synapse Chip, Execute Fireball Pulse Goggle, Instant Leech Rapid Shortbow, Mystic Stealth Helmet, Godslayer Shadow Strike Armor, Fielded Magnetic Belt, and the Overbore Stardust Boots. I currently don't have any gloves that would work for her right now, so hopefully we'll get some. And again, these items aren't being shown off because of my thoughts on the build, thinking that these would be the absolute best for her. These are just currently what I have. And so this is what I'll be experiencing or utilizing and what will impact my experience in the fights and what you'll witness here today. So let's go ahead and jump in and see what we can unlock. Okay, so that has to be an ability tied to one of our pieces of equipment. Because I'm like, what the heck is that? It's kind of like the orbit laser, but it's only a brief hit to the ground and then it disappears. So that's interesting. Let's see, electromagnetic storm. Generates an electromagnetic storm at the target location. So that's an active tactical skill we could throw on. I haven't used that yet. So, you know what? Let's try it out. Now, as we could tell, though, again, the equipment definitely impacts the character experience, but she is very fast. She does fire off single arrows, but also a grouping of arrows, which is really handy as well. Let's see. Frost Mastery, Frost Charge, Frozen Rounds. Let's alter. Inferno. Inferno rounds increase weapon damage, bullets inflict burn. Okay, let's do that. So we have Electric Storm. We have whatever that fire thing is that's dropping down. And right now we're just trying to farm for experience. Range amplification, actually not a bad thing. I always assume for some of these weapons, like the sniper and stuff on Katarina, that the range would actually be a lot longer than the other characters, and it might be, but not by much if it is. Doesn't feel like it, at least. Summon a set of orbiting disc blades for protection. Those are actually quite handy. The nanomedic, especially legendary, would be very nice with bosses, but let's just see where we could go with what we have now. Because I also think that grabbing the blades in the very beginning is a really good thing for characters like Katarina and Luna. Arc Drone summons arc drones that have a chance to stun enemies with attacks, which could be handy with bosses, actually. We could also up the electromagnetic storm, double the damage, which would be nice. You know what, let's go for Arc Drone. I think we'll keep getting electromagnetic storm. I don't know if we'll get the drones, so... Yeah, see, electromagnetic storm. We could do range amplification again, but I'm pretty content with what we have. Bullets have a chance to trigger a chain lightning on hit. Now, that's pretty cool. Okay, let's do Arc Chain. Just to help wave clear. Because especially after the first boss, we will start getting tougher enemies. And so that's where that Arc Chain and stuff is going to come in handy. At least ideally. Crimson Flame Dragon summons a fire dragon that circles around you, dealing heavy damage and inflicting burn. Sounds like fun. Could also up our Inferno rounds. You know what? Let's try the Crimson Flame Dragon. We are mixing quite a bit fire and lightning here. But I am curious to see what it does, because I can't remember if I've actually used it or not. And the other thing is that with these games too, with any sort of roguelite like this, Bullet Heaven roguelite, it's not always about the damage output of your main weapon, your primary weapon that you use, whether it's an SMG or a bow or sword or whatever. But it's also just about adding on more skills and upgrading those skills too. So, you know, everything comes into play. And a lot of times I focus in on the weapon at its core for this game, but really, like, you could just focus in on your skills too. Your weapon could just help with some additional DPS, but really what carries you could be a tactical skill or a psionic ability or something like that. So that is not out of the realm of possibility by any means. Heavy fired, do I want to up this? Wow, 2k damage, huh? Yeesh. With a pretty quick cooldown, actually. Wow, okay. You know what, let's do it. Oh, okay, so I've actually never hit the tab before. This is really nice, so you can actually see what you've picked. What level it's at. Oh, nice. Okay, I really like that, actually. I was wondering about that. I'm like, there should be a breakdown in here. I don't understand why there isn't, but there is. It's just you have to hit tab. Okay, cool. Love that. Very nice and easy. Also love the fact that there's always stuff to learn, you know? Okay, and then events, so you can see all the events that you've had. Cool. All right. Now, I will say with this character too, what helps is having higher level characters who have farmed gear at a higher level. Let's see. Movement speed. XP you know, let's do XP amplification. Movement speed is nice, don't get me wrong. Especially with bosses with really crazy AoEs. But let's just try the XP and really farm. Movement speed. Yeah, let's do movement speed. Okay, so that burst of fire is the dragon of the dragon skill. Okay, so we have it built into one of our items, and then we just added it on again, I guess. Which, hey, that works, because that's 2,000 damage a pop. That's pretty nasty. Let's see. Increases damage psionic tech. Do we want to alter, reroll? We could also get flame dash. We don't have a dash yet. Leave a trail of flames. That's pretty nice, actually. Let's do that. I like anything that lingers and does damage for us so we don't have to worry about it. I will say so far it feels like even though Luna doesn't do as much direct damage as the sniper, she does have better clear potential because of her arrow spread, which is really handy. That's not to say Katarina can't get some really good skills that then help with just clearing out mobs, but at least to start with, Katarina seems to have pretty good clearing potential in comparison. Let's see. Summons arc drones, so we could up that level. We could reduce cooldowns. Let's actually do that, because that'll help a lot with damage output, considering the fact the tech that we have. Oh, wow. Okay. So that coiling dragon fire, it's automatic off one of our items, but then otherwise it's attached to our grenade, which is something that I have to get used to. I'm not used to playing games where they have special abilities and effects and stuff attached to your grenade. Usually the grenade is just a grenade, it's extra damage, hey, that's cool, it's great. So that's actually really neat. Arc chain, we could up that level. Lightning mastery increases the spawn chance and damage of lightning tech. So the damage boost should up our tactical skill of the electromagnetic storm. We could also just level up arc chain. I don't want shock grenade. It has its place, but I just don't care for it personally for most of the situations I'm in. I'm wondering if, like, should I alter it? Because right now we're under lightning, but we could change it to something else if we want. You know what? Let's go ahead and just do arc chain and upgrade that. Because that'll double the damage and add 2 more ricochet counts, so. Again, just helping with clearing out. It's not a huge help with bosses, but it will help with clearing out mobs, as well as, really actually, with some of the boss fights, they do summon. So it'll help take out those summons as well. Armor, let's see, 7% chance of success, cooldown reduction, 30%. Well, let's try it. Do we get lucky? No, of course it's a failure. That's insane. 70% chance of success and it fails. Rude. Okay, so we could up our Blade Sentinels, double the damage, and then from there the cooldown. Now, something to think about, by the way, is when you're upgrading the skills, from what I've seen, over time there are diminishing returns. So, like, upgrading something to level 2 can be really good. It can double pretty much your damage overall, and, you know, add some cooldown reduction and duration and stuff here and there. Not huge jumps, but it's something. And then when you get to level 3, you see a pretty good jump, but then once you get to level 4 and 5, it seems that there are diminishing returns, so it won't just keep doubling every single time. So do be aware of that. Probably investing in certain skills up to like level 3 will be probably pretty good, honestly. Let's see, precision amplification, increased damage dealt with manually aimed shots, which does seem to help with the bosses. Hitting enemies, both your weapons damage and aux weapon damage are increased. You know what? Yeah. More damage output? Sounds good to me. Okay, we're not doing as much damage because we have that minute countdown due to the failure. Are we back yet? Might be. Let's just go for mythic spawn rate. I'm fine with that. As we get crushed by the drop pod. Crimson Flame Dragon. Yeah, that damage is insane. Inferno rounds. You know what? Let's up the Inferno rounds, though. Fire Tongue. After multiple hits, unleash a stream of flames in front of you. Ew. Okay, cool. What is it? My Philomel. My Philomel, with her, I believe it's with her SMG, has Fire Tongue, and it's really cool. Let's go. Let's do Crimson Flame Dragon, though. I think Flame Tongue or Fire Tongue or whatever would be good for this character, but with what we have already, I think we're okay. At least I'd like to think so. That might change, though. Boy, we are hauling. Look at our speed boost. We are schmoovin'. High speed would be fun. Especially when you have something like the blades around you. You don't really have to worry about doing much. Expands the area of chase type tech. Let's do Inferno rounds. Mysterious black box. Let's see. Area of tech, cooldown reduction. Sure. I'm down for that. Okay. Another event over here. recovery protocol. Killing an enemy with an aux weapon has a chance to restore health. Okay. When hitting enemies, both your weapon damage and aux weapon damage are increased, so we could up that. Damage bonus would be at almost 6%. Well, at max about 6% almost. And then for aux weapons, it would be about 8%. You know what? Let's do... Yeah, let's up that. Why not? Love more damage. Will not complain. Well, we could set ourselves up to be a little bit of a glass cannon. Max HP minus 15. Damage up 20%. Huh. Well, you know what? Let's try it. I haven't chosen that option, so we'll see how we fare. I feel like that choice could be very good, actually, for someone like Morse. Especially on higher hazard levels. Because, like, when I did hazard level 4 to get this character, I did it with Morse. And on the Plague Angel boss, oh man, I think I was doing like 30 damage. No, it was like between 30 and 90 damage. And I'm like, what is going on? It was insane. Let's see. Synergy amplification again, 8%. Could also up the Blade Ring Sentinel. A lot more damage. Sure. That's actually putting in work for taking out these mobs, so why not? You know, I really want to see the creature that skull belongs to. That would be intense. Alright, here's our first boss. Hello, hello. Begin. Yeah, I don't know why these videos run a little bit slower and why they don't have audio. I'm hoping they work on that. I'm assuming they are, but... So I gotta remember with this guy, he charges, he has ground slams, and he will summon as well. Yeah, try to get him through our fire, which is our dash ability, and try to get him through the electricity. Oh, wow, we've almost completely fried him. Wow, okay then. And we're at hazard level 2, which isn't super high, but... I mean, this is a brand new character, so... Dang. Alright, I'll take it. That dash damage wouldn't be bad if we upped that. Alright, let's do that. Okay, guys, I'm back. Sorry about that. I had a really annoying neighbor I needed to talk to. Ooh, 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 ow, ow, ow. Yeah, so far, lightning and fire have been working well for us. Let's do... Yeah, let's do Inferno rounds. Yeah, at times you just gotta look at your abilities and go, okay, what are my primary damages and what are just some nice to haves to add on to the DPS? And just make sure you focus on your primary damage. Now I may get to the point where you're just getting a ton of XP. And so at that point, it's like, well, whatever, like I can invest, then do it, you know, go all the way in. Oh, geez, so we could up our damage again another 20%. Oh my. We're at 119 for health right now. It would not take much to wreck us, so you know, let's just go for XP. Another 20 damage would be pretty nuts, but I also don't want to get one shot by a boss. That would not be fun. at the wrong time. There we go. Did get a perfect dodge though, so that works. Swarm amplification. Aux weapon increases the damage of all aux. Okay, that. Mech attack. Blade ring. We could up blade ring. Could do synergy amplification as well. We could also just do an altar. Actually, you know what? I wouldn't mind blade ring up one more. I think level 3 I'd be happy. Yeah, see, blade ring just shredded that machine gunner, which is huge. You know what? Let's up our storm. That's only level 1 right now. Soul maintenance, psionic damage. Let's go for tactical. Nice, I'm seeing crits for over 1k. 1511 was the last one I saw. Yeah, so far, I don't think I have a favorite character. I think they're all just super fun. I've been sticking with Morse more so, but I like all of them thus far. I think they're all really good. And they all have a lot of great potential. You know what? Let's up Storm again. Increases damage of status ailment effects, which we have a lot, so it wouldn't be a bad idea. Let's do that. Because we have burn, we have the stun from the electricity. Spiritual Nightmare, pitcher training. Let's do fire rate and reload. We're not, you know, firing as fast as Philomel, but we're also not that far off either. Okay, so we could up the arc drones. Shock grenade, no thank you. Lightning mastery. You know what? Let me alter. Damage reduction coding. I only have one aux weapon, so this doesn't really benefit us. Let's alter again. You know what? I'm down for drop boost. More chance of getting health if we need it. Yeah, we can't really take a hit. We get hit pretty hard. So we have to really be careful of these machine gunners. And why not? It's not that long of a cooldown. Thunder Strike calls down multiple thunderfalls to attack random nearby enemies. Nice, so this could be another tactical skill, but this one's passive. Okay, you know what? Well, let's do it. Alright, let's go for assisted driving. Aux weapon. And we do have an aux weapon. We could do psionic. More tactical. You know what, let's do tactical. I want to invest in the storm because I'm hoping that it will melt through bosses. It's done a good job so far for us, so... Let's psi boost again. Gain increased damage and movement speed for each nearby enemy affected by status ailment. That would also be nice. How close are we to the boss? Because, yeah, 2.8% isn't huge. And you really, like it, you only benefit, the reason why it's a smaller number is because you only benefit by having a bunch of enemies around you. So it only really helps you during the swarm or horde, you know, sort of sections. But when you're with the boss, especially if it's just the boss, this won't help you a whole heck of a lot. So, you know what, let's just do Psi Boost. Yeah, because we're getting pretty close to the final boss. Now, I mentioned this before, but just to kind of bring it up again, if you have the auto firing toggled on, your character does walk slower because they're steadying their shot and firing. So with that, you want to know when to pick your ideal times to toggle it on and when to take it off. The other thing to keep in mind is that when you have it on, your character just fires towards an enemy. But if that enemy is behind hard cover, all those shots are going nowhere. You know, they're not hitting the target and you're just wasting ammo and then you have to wait to reload. So that's another thing, is that if you're surrounded by a lot of hard cover, just make sure to turn it off and aim your shots, or take control and start aiming your shots, because you can do that too. While it's toggled on, you can actually override it by just clicking on the target that you want to aim for, and you'll start firing toward that person, that target. So just make sure that you are adjusting where needed, otherwise you're also wasting shots, slowing yourself down, and then you have to reload, which slows you down even more. Alright, so do we want to do another range amplification, or do we want to do Storm? Let's do Storm. And then let's go for Storm again. And let's go for... See, Crimson Flame Dragon does a ton of damage, but you can't control where it goes, and it could completely miss all your targets. So there's a huge payoff, but that's if it hits something. That's the caveat there. Let's Psi Boost. Synergy, amplification. You know what? Let's go into that. That's fine. All right, so we have another swarm coming in. Oh, you're stuck. Here, let me help you. There you go. All right, let's buff Ox Weapon. Mythic again, so now we have a 4% chance at a Mythic to spawn, or to drop. Okay, so we've hit up 24 events. We've farmed almost 3,000 souls. Or we reclaimed 3,000 souls. It's like we're the Grim Reaper or something. Time to harvest the souls. Okay, let's do movement speed. And let's up our flame dash, because that's also good against bosses, especially if they're chasing us. Now we could do nanomedic if we really need it, because we don't have anything for support really. We have a lot of stuff for damage, but not really for support. Alright, let's grab it. If we do a ton of damage, we won't need it for the boss, but just as an insurance policy, if you will. Ooh, we can up Thunderstrike? Increases movement speed and damage after dashing. That's pretty solid, actually. Only for 3 seconds, but... If it was 5 seconds, I'd be a little bit more tempted. Let's just up Thunderstrike. You know, glad we have the medical drone. I'm noticing that I have half my health now. Oh, so close to getting that thing. Ooh, nice. Just made it in time to grab this. Bash, bang, bang, clang, boom. Nemesis. Hello, RE3. We're gonna play Galaga. Look, you're not Scorpion. Stop it. Nope, he's Angie. Now, even though this guy is the definition of a bullet hell, he does stand still, which is actually quite handy for our storm. And there we go. Luna's Light. Win a battle using Luna. Not the best of drops, especially with that 4% increase to Mythic. Kind of sad. No Legendary, no Mythic. But hey, we took him down. Alright, so let's take a look at our stats here. Almost 3,000 kills, 23 elites down, 26 events investigated. Alright, nice. Yeah, we shot up from 1 to 5, going through hazard level 2. Alright, well, that is the bow-wielding Luna. Let me know your thoughts of Luna in the comments, and also, who is your favorite character? Do you have one, or do you just are like me and just like every single one of them? So far, I really enjoy them. They're all very different, even though they could pick up some of the same abilities, or all of the same abilities. But just in general, their primary fire and, you know, how they get around, how they take damage and stuff like that is just really interesting. And I love being able to gear them up and looking at the different stats, and having that reforge ability I think is huge as well. So that way you're not farming, you know, the same item a billion times trying to get the one with that one perfect, you know, like roll, basically, where it's like, oh, I really want crit damage. Okay, well, great. Well, now you can reforge it and add that crit damage, hopefully. Things like that, which I think are just really, really nice. But thanks for checking this out. If you want to see more, make sure to like the video. Also, you can subscribe for free to get notified when more videos go live. But take care of yourselves and each other, and I look forward to seeing you in the next video.